problems. That guy, he just has to touch you once.
Shit's going down.
He's so different than anybody else in the division. Like, he knocks everybody out. Everybody hits hard. They all hit hard.
But he pushed
that dude hits hard.
Robert, oh, sorry, when you've done
so that one through the eye, Robert. Okay.
Yeah.
Answer. Anthony Joshua is Olympic champion. First. Jack Paul, it's, sportsman, YouTuber, showman. Rolls Royce, Fiat.
Joe Rogan is well known for speaking his mind, and his recent take on Anthony Joshua sparring with Oleksandr Usyk before Jake Paul's fight has stirred up quite a reaction in the combat sports community. On his podcast, Rogan analyzed the unusual yet fascinating matchup, raising questions about why two of boxing's top heavyweights would participate in training for a bout centered around Paul, a fight more focused on entertainment than traditional competition. Rogan mixed his usual skepticism and candid insight with a touch of admiration, sparking lively discussion among fans about what this unexpected training partnership might signify, not only for Jake Paul's career but for the broader boxing world as well.
There's not a chance that Anthony Joshua is not going to just lose the weight beforehand. He's not going to come in drained. What he's going to do is just do extra cardio, and that's just going to make him more dangerous. He's going to be terrifying, and he's going to have a lot to prove. He's going to be very angry.
Instead of training in the UK with his usual team led by Ben Davidson, Joshua revealed at a recent press event that he would be working with members of Usyk's camp to get ready for his December 19th bout in Miami. He called the experience both exceptional and demanding, praising the skill and achievements of Usyk's team while clarifying that the Ukrainian fighter himself wasn't sparring with him on a daily basis.
You've got to find the belief in yourself, not in somebody else's system. You know what I mean? It's like Usyk's team might show him bits and bats of stuff. He doesn't box like Usyk. Can they train AJ to be similar to what Usyk's doing? AJ, you've got to pick out the best of what AJ does, and you've got to pick out the worst and improve the worst in him. And I'll say it time and time again. For me, the best trainer he ever had was Robert McGregor. It might not be what people want to hear, but he had him from the stages in the amateurs, from being a young mind, brought him through, guided. He had a good view of what the competition was out there, where to put him, you know, where to manoeuvre him, when to take fights, when not to take fights. And he'd invested a lot of time in him, Robert McGregor. So it was the payoff. Now when you go to, you know, if AJ came here or he goes to Ben Davison, or you're going to be in for a big payday as a trainer, it's a lot of responsibility to take on. You know, Ben Davis is a good trainer. He's trained AJ for so many fights, brought him back. He'll have got paid handsomely. Everybody wants to train AJ because it's a good payday. So, but sometimes you have to think to yourself, are you capable of training that fighter? You know, people have come to me wanting me to train. I said, to be honest, we're not going to match. You know, what I want to do and what I want you to do is not going to work. So I just think AJ is looking for that secret ingredient.
Working alongside experienced members of Usyk's team, Anthony Joshua is honing a comprehensive set of offensive and defensive skills. Analysts have noted his unwavering commitment to improvement. From refining his footwork and perfecting his timing to sharpening his combinations, Joshua approaches training with a methodical yet adaptable mindset, allowing him to experiment with different techniques in a controlled setting. The camp also provides sparring partners who simulate real fight conditions, keeping him sharp and ready. As the fight date approaches, every session takes on greater significance, strengthening both his physical conditioning and mental focus. His regimen highlights the importance he places on careful preparation and strategic growth in boxing.
I do know someone, I think he's at that stage of his career where he's trying to rediscover a little bit of that confidence. He's gone to Oleksandr Usyk, where we're hearing reports he's out there, training with Usyk and the team, trying to pick up something, trying to rediscover something.
That's very strange, pause.
It is, but it's not unheard of. I've heard of a lot of fighters doing that. You see fighters, obviously, it's the old Rocky movies years ago, but you see a fighter losing to someone, all of a sudden they go in the camp and they start training and doing little bits together and become friends or whatever else. I think it'll do Joshua no harm travelling, but as you say, he's a little bit long in the tooth, and he's a bit on the back nine rather than the front nine, where that experience would really come into play. But I'm just looking at his record here. He obviously, after the Usyk fight, he'd come back and he had 3 fights, and then the Ngannou demolition
Well,
job.
yeah, Jermaine Franklin, he had Robert Helene, he had Otto Wally, and he smashed Ngannou, which everyone went hallelujah for, right?
Yeah, but he's obviously not in like the box rec rankings to see where he is. But the Dubois fight is a fight where what you've just said then, Spencer, like match him right. I felt he was match right with Dubois. That's just my opinion.
Just
obviously, I was wrong on that, and I was proved wrong. But I felt like Joshua would have and should have came through that, but he obviously didn't. So therefore, it's back to the drawing board. And where do you go from there? What do you do from there? Does he keep the same team around him? Does he go and find someone new and try and adapt and add to his repertoire already? And this move at Usyk, I don't know what it'll be, but if he's fighting before Christmas, then he needs to get in shape quick, because there's only 8 weeks to go, let's say.
Well, my understanding, he's in camp, he's in shape, and just looking to getting out and get back to winning ways is my understanding. That's why they're talking about 8 rounders.
Yeah.
He wants to sort of go under the radar a little bit, and it's difficult for someone like Anthony Joshua because he's such
Very
a
much so.
commercial commodity.
He's always been in shape all the time, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He always will be in shape. He's never, ever not been...
But it's not about his physical shape, is it? No one's ever questioned his physical state. Zach, when I was talking about Anthony Joshua, and I know that the president of his fan club is here in Spencer, but I talked about the PTSD issue post various fights, whether it be the Oleksandr Usyk or the Daniel Dubois situation. But prior to Daniel Dubois, I always maintained that I felt that despite the performance against Jermaine Franklin, despite the performance against Robert Helenius, which had been blasted out by Deontay Wilder.
While Joshua isn't sparring with Usyk on a regular basis, he has fully immersed himself in the Ukrainian champion's training setup, collaborating with top-tier coaches who guided Usyk to become a 2-time undisputed heavyweight champion. Joshua has noted that working within this high-level system provides valuable insights from a proven champion, offering him an important opportunity to refine his own skills in preparation for Paul's unconventional style.
Going to that camp just for Jake Paul, because he could have gone to fucking my camp to beat Jake Paul.
AJ's been in camp with Usyk.
Taking it seriously for it to get fucked off at the final minute.
What better camp to go join than the master himself?
What he's doing is he knows that he's got, 1, maybe 2 years left, maybe 2 years. So he's gone to the Usyk camp. There's motivation behind that, you know what I mean?
Yes.
You're not going to that camp just for Jake Paul, because he could have gone to fucking my camp to beat Jake Paul. But he's going to that camp for the future of next year, where he could be fighting Dubois, could be fighting.
Conor McGregor shared his thoughts on the upcoming Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua fight, offering a straightforward and cautious perspective. He warned that the matchup carries significant risks and suggested that, in his opinion, it might be better if it didn't happen. McGregor highlighted Joshua's formidable power and experience as a former world champion, emphasizing that anyone stepping into the ring with him deserves respect, while also noting the dangers Paul faces. Even with his concerns, McGregor said he would admire Paul's commitment if he fully embraces the challenge, though he questioned whether such a high-profile crossover bout truly fits within the sporting context.
I mean, he's going to get knocked out by AJ though, isn't he?
If he makes that walk, you've got to give him his respect for that. It's very dangerous, you know. It seems like Netflix are all over him. It's a dangerous sport, and you can't overlook that. Joshua's a big boy and a powerhouse. I've sat ringside and watched Joshua. That's a heavy punching man, and he's a happy and he's a good kid. He has an anger in him. He has a darkness in him, does Anthony Joshua. And I don't think a lot of people suss that. So, the fight shouldn't go ahead. In my opinion, the fight shouldn't go ahead. However, if he does it...
UFC President Dana White has delivered a sharp critique of the much-anticipated Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul fight, calling it a mismatch that threatens the credibility of professional boxing. Known for his outspoken nature, White questioned the logic of pitting a seasoned former world heavyweight champion against a YouTube personality-turned-boxer. His comments have sparked intense debates online, with fans split over whether the bout is a clever marketing strategy or a spectacle that undermines the sport. White didn't hold back, arguing that Joshua entering the ring with Paul could set a troubling precedent where fame overshadows skill and experience. While such celebrity fights may generate huge pay-per-view numbers, he warned they risk turning boxing into more of an entertainment show than a legitimate test of athletic ability.
people around him that will be saying to him, mate, Anthony hasn't boxed for a year and a half. Mate, Anthony got dropped in his last fight. Anthony's head's all over the place. He's gone. So listen, fair fucking play. If he steps up and fights AJ, I will be the first to hold my hands up and go, fair fucking play. He'd have to be crazy to do it. He would have to be crazy to do it. Jake Paul's never really fought anyone major, like, you know, when's he going to step up and fight a real fighter? I mean, this would definitely be one way to kill that narrative, but it would be a dangerous one. If we're offered it, and the money that I know is inevitable in a fight like that, it would be very difficult for us to turn it down. And I know some people will find a reason to not like it and moan, but I'm just going to give it to you straight always. We were going to have a run out this year in an 8-rounder against someone in the top, I don't know, 120 on BoxRec that you've never heard of. We could have a run out against Jake Paul, end him in boxing forever, get rid of this whole little silly thing, and make about 50 or 60x in the process. How can you turn it down? So if it's real, there is a chance. Jake's won fights that I didn't think he'd win. And Jake has got a lot better over the last couple of years. He ain't in Anthony Joshua's league, that's for sure. The only way this fight happens, if it's a fight, it's a sanctioned fight. I mean, ultimately, it's a cruiserweight stepping up to fight a heavyweight. I mean, previously, what did you have? You had a lightweight fighting a cruiserweight, but that was an exhibition. This is no exhibition. This is the 10-ounce big boys, and this is a real fight. We've already really got our plans with Turki Al-Sheikh for 2026, which is ultimately to fight Tyson Fury, but also to have another fight in February. We got the phone call to say, look, obviously Gervonta's out. Would you be interested in December? And the only other options we had for December was to do an 8-rounder on a card somewhere, which I didn't even know was going to happen. So I said to Nikisa, if you're truthful about this, which he assures me Jake is, then it could happen. So let's live in the real world, yeah? And let's just, everybody stay calm and make logical business decisions. What would you do, right? And please don't give me the, yes, but you have to think about the legacy here. You can't eat legacy, and legacy is so important. By the way, he's an Olympic gold medalist, a 2-time world heavyweight champion. The legacy's okay. I wouldn't let him not take this fight. I would push him in the ring to take this fight. So if you want to blame someone, blame me. Just relax. One, I don't even know if it's going to happen. Two, if it does, just relax. Enjoy us going in there for boxing and sticking one on his chin. We'll go back, we'll fight Tyson Fury, etc. So just relax. But how can you say no?
Professional boxer Liam Cameron shared his thoughts on public expectations surrounding the fight. He pointed out that most fans are likely to predict a dominant performance from Joshua, given his Olympic background and extensive pro experience. Cameron also noted that some viewers might find entertainment in a one-sided contest, anticipating moments that highlight the gap in skill levels. This dynamic, however, puts extra pressure on Paul to showcase adaptability, resilience, and flair. Cameron's insights underline how audience perception plays a crucial role in crossover boxing events, shaping both the promotion of the fight and the strategies fighters bring into the ring.
If you don't like Jake Paul, Asia is going to do you a favour because he's going to flatten him. But big props to that Jake Paul for getting it ring with him. Listen to this, he's a multi-millionaire. Multi-millionaire. You don't have to box. And he's fighting him. He's either a madman or he knows something we don't know. But people like saying, oh, I won't take this Jake Paul fight. Listen, every boxer on the planet would fight Jake Paul for money. I'd fight Anthony Joshua for money. I'd get flattened, but I'd fight him. So yeah, I think people sometimes have to watch what they say and think about it.
Boxing analyst Joey Knight issued a pointed warning about Jake Paul's motivations and what might come from the fight. He suggested that Paul is driven more by the attention and viral moments the bout could generate than by traditional professional aspirations. That said, Knight clarified that this doesn't mean Paul isn't preparing seriously or lacks intent, but it does frame the matchup within the broader context of entertainment-focused boxing. His analysis highlights the contrasting priorities of the fighters, Joshua aiming for technical excellence and legacy, while Paul is focused on visibility and fan engagement. This tension makes outcomes harder to predict and adds an extra narrative layer to the fight.
A lot of cash, maybe not as much as the Anthony Joshua fight, but a lot of cash, and can still have a serious chance of going on to earn even more paydays. Whereas the damage that it could do to his body could be irreversible for that opportunity to earn money in a boxing career going forward. So is this the retirement bag or do you actually think you can win? Because I read a study recently, and I believe it said something along the lines of men overemphasize or overcalculate their ability to fight by about 500 times. And I'm saying Jake Paul would probably need to be 500 times better to stand a chance against Anthony Joshua. And I can't get how he doesn't already know this. Surely he has sparred with heavyweights. Surely the recent sparring that he had with the likes of Shakur Stevenson and with the likes of Ray Ford, amongst others, Badu Jack, surely that would have taught you that there are levels to boxing. And if these small guys are able to show you things that you had no idea that you were vulnerable to in a boxing ring, what happens when someone who hits 4, 5, 6 times as hard as that does the exact same thing to you and lands it on your chin? The whole reason of why I know where I am in the influencer boxing scene, in the misfit scene, is because of the level that I have sparred at. I've sparred boys that have gone on to box for world titles. I've sparred with English champions, and I've sparred with loads of...
Legendary ring announcer Michael Buffer has acknowledged the influence Jake and Logan Paul have had on modern boxing, particularly in attracting younger audiences and sparking renewed interest in the sport. He observed that their involvement in high-profile fights has injected a level of energy and excitement that traditional boxing hasn't seen in years, reaching fans who might otherwise stay away. While some purists question the legitimacy of crossover bouts, Buffer emphasized that the Paul brothers' ability to generate anticipation, craft compelling storylines, and draw mainstream attention cannot be ignored. By bringing new viewers and wider media coverage, they've helped expand boxing's overall fan base, providing a bigger platform for established athletes to engage with a broader audience. Buffer views this as a positive trend, suggesting that the sport benefits when dynamic promotion and intriguing matchups increase its reach while still respecting the skill and tradition at boxing's core.
Jake and Logan, first of all, are fantastic athletes. You know what Logan does with the WWE and what Jake does with boxing. He knocks people out and everything. And they both have massive fan bases. And for me, it's great to see people get young people that follow them that didn't have, like, you know, they don't remember Ali or Joe Frazier or whatever. It's not in their wheelhouse. So it's great to see them developing fight fans and a big fight atmosphere. So it's very exciting.
These two stood face to face, and the comment section on the internet was going crazy. They were like, call the ambulance now, basically. Like, Anthony Joshua looks dangerous standing next to him.
Anthony Joshua is, at this time, and has been for years, the biggest puncher in boxing. He's a devastating puncher. So I got to give Jake a lot of credit for wanting to take this fight.
Yeah, it's not. A lot of people saying it's not smart. If he somehow was able to surprise the world, what does this do for him?
The word would be surprised if he shocked the world. But that's exactly why you got to give him credit. He wants to do it. He trains hard, he works hard, and he has a lot of faith in himself. So we'll see what happens.
Technically, though, what's the biggest concern for you? What's the biggest tip you can give Jake, knowing that you've watched Anthony so many times now?
Many fans are excited to see Anthony Joshua take on Jake Paul, largely because they expect Joshua to dominate the fight. Paul's tendency to challenge top-tier fighters and boldly claim superiority has made him one of the most polarizing figures in combat sports. To many observers, his confidence in facing Joshua seems overly ambitious given the clear gap in experience, skill, and size. Nevertheless, the potential matchup has captured widespread attention. Paul has made it clear that the fight with Joshua is happening and believes he has a well-thought-out strategy to succeed. He has embraced the challenge of facing a former two-time heavyweight world champion and insists that Joshua's power and stature do not intimidate him. Paul plans to leverage his speed, movement, and boxing IQ to outmaneuver and outbox the larger opponent, even predicting a knockout in the 5th or 6th round. To prepare, he has trained seriously, sparring with hard-hitting partners to build confidence and sharpen his skills ahead of what is shaping up to be one of the biggest fights of his career.
for entertainment purposes, and you know, I can do a little bit of everything. So I can be the heel, the villain, I could be a jackass, I could shit talk, I could be investor, businessman, CEO, boxer, whatever it is. You know the drill. The current state of modern entertainment, you got to do it all. You got to play across the board and be good at all these things. But you know, I've been in this game for 12, 13 years now, and I've seen a lot of people fall by the wayside, but me and my brother have just worked hard and been super calculated and know what we're doing in this space.
I think the work ethic is obviously absurd, and you guys are a couple of Ohio fucks at your core, so we have massive respect for that. But obviously talent and having to understand where the world is going is a forethought that not a lot of people have in history. You're a trailblazer, you know that. Now let's get to your boxing career. You've been very, very, very upfront about how you want to be a world champion. You focus your entire life to boxing, it seems. We've seen you in other eras and chapters of your life where you were doing a lot of things. Then you turned your focus fully to boxing. You said boxing saved your life. You fell in love with it. Now you're taking on a guy who has done the same thing with boxing for most of his life. He has loved it. He has invested in it. He has fought the greats. He's been in the biggest fights. He's been champion. I think a lot of us were very surprised that this would be happening. How do you feel just a few days out, and what went into the decision to fucking fight Anthony Joshua?
Yeah, look, to me, I see a lot of paths to victory in his style, and styles make fights. We all know that. He's lost to guys who are shorter mostly and lighter mostly, and faster than him. I see holes in his game. I see punches that I can...
Could Joshua's time training with Usyk's team be the unexpected edge Paul didn't anticipate? Or does Paul's confidence and unorthodox style give him a genuine chance to pull off an upset? Share your thoughts in the comments below.